The demise of Elvis Presley has sounded. Ginger has been settled for 47 years. Alden, his last fiancé, has at last, she explains, breaking her quiet, that the king was organizing a vacation rather than a farewell, and she contains evidence hidden somewhere, but it gets even worse. Graceland contained the hints. Stay here the entire time because the last surprise can cause you to doubt everything. Remember when Elvis sang Ginger Alden met Elvis in November 1976 at a Memphis preview of a movie theater? She was 20 and Elvis, the local pageant winner, was 41 years old. When in the hospital, the singer invited Ginger, together with her mother and sister. The following evening, Graceland's guards waved at 3,760 for Elvis through the gate. Presley Boulevard within the bright. Ginger saw the gold record in the illuminated foyer. The walls Elvis walked on were covered in plaques. Down the stairs in a navy robe he spoke softly, holding a silver crucifix. Nothing compares to the amazing stage voice. Arenas, he called her after a week. Every day, every call is ended with care. By December, he made arrangements for late evening drives in Memphis parking lots close to the historic apartments at Lauderdale Courts where he used to reside. He informed Ginger that the past seemed more secure than the present. He invited her to move in with him in January 1977. The upper story of Graceland's house is retained forbidden to practically everyone else. She observed the master bathroom surrounded by the TV room was piled high with medicine bottles, with a closet with gospel tapes. Over 70 jumpsuits were available when she called Elvis side and remarked, "It's a museum that is the owner of that exhibit." Provide King Midas with a tiny illusion, demonstrated how treasures may still be proud of capture their owner, but he's not just shared a confidential code shortly after. 3 knocks on her door indicated his need for assistance. Getting away from the cameras, even within his own. By February 1977, Elvis was pacing the house, walking barefoot in the upstairs hallway of Graceland, reading a yogi's autobiography, and he was making notes in the margins. Emphasized passages concerning taking one's own life behind in order to begin a greater one. He said he felt as though Atlas was holding up a society that has forgotten about the man under the weight. He requested that she practice some Spanish phrases with him. Me llamo Aaron and Stylistian Aaron was. He hardly ever used his middle name. A second first name might help, he suggested. He blended in, yet on some evenings he opened his safe and deleted old letters and photos from a childhood library and Sun Records card. He grasped them and put them in fresh manila folders with the numbers 1, 2 and 3. But hold on, things get worse. Ginger noticed he destroyed recent fan mail that said that the voices of today were less important than the earlier voices. On March 12th, he blamed exhaustion and canceled studio time. He assured Ginger in private that the songs can freedom. Noticed a new thing, but she couldn't wait. The hotel stationary's phone number, a prefix from Los Angeles that she didn't when she inquired. Elvis grinned. A friend who knows doors that, he continued. After you pass through, don't turn around. Spring gave way to early summer. Ginger. Late-night phone calls were recorded in her journal for May 24th at 4 to 7 a.m. and May 3rd at 2:18 a.m. Elvis dialed the same number in Los Angeles. Every time he spoke in short sentences, then all right, good, in a whisper before he ended the call, and kept a Rand McNally Road atlas accessible to Washington State Pages, BC, as well as the southernmost point of. He made little circles around Argentina. Towns with a population under 10,000 folded a Chilean brochure for Chitain. Inside his wallet, he informed Ginger, hidden hotel rooms are inferior than hidden valleys. 3 passports were delivered by an assistant. 2 have expired, and 1 is new. His entire name was on the document, although it had Elvis put it under a door without any exit stamps. Stack of gospel records, he said to Ginger. He grinned even though the passport was Plan B, as though it were Plan A, the only delusion in. This passage was provided by Elvis himself. His guide was likened as the invisible guy, who doesn't leave tracks as they move. He practiced signing a basic EA, but not all on empty notepads, dropping the well-known last name as though deleting it had taught his a bigger rubber in his hand. After his clothing cataloged by funeral home employees' guns and jewelry that Ginger requested Elvis's gold chai necklace as a memento, donned Lucky Charms while looking for on his personal wardrobe. She discovered a sealed white envelope that is solely imprinted with the letters and the lightning bolt emblem TCB. A 3-page letter was found within. Elvis inscribed that fame in his neat hand felt like a gift rolled like the Trojan horse. Within the gates that were eventually opened hidden issues, he gave 5 names of people who meant everything at one point but had changed into his life's faraway landowners. He claimed that Elvis Presley's brand was generating money for all, with the exception of the boy from the second page was began by Tupelo, held one terrifying statement that legacy constructed a man can still leave a mansion. "I love you all," he said as he closed the door. "However, I must enjoy breathing more without a date." Ginger slid the letter without saying hello, back worried that property managers may lock a vault. But hold on, it gets even worse. She discovered the handwriting later. "Open if they say" is written on the back flap. She never received the message. "It's over." Bravery to comply. On August 15, 1977, Elvis consumed a bowl of his last meal, sliced peaches on top of coconut ice cream at approximately 1000 p.m. He cleaned his hands. His bedside safe was accessed, and a leather shaving kit among the items on the bed, a stack of manila paper, and a brown travel bag. Ginger Alden observed the envelopes as he slid Valium prescription bottles, Coden and Placidil in the shaving kit. However, he forgot his pain medication and he packed 3 books at 10:30. Christ imitation autobiography of a Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He and Yogi hummed Kentucky's Blue Moon while composing a brief message on hotel stationery and placing it in the second envelope. He called Charlie Hodgage at around 11 o'clock, asked for fresh torch supplies, then warned him about going upstairs. Later, security records revealed 2 hallway the cameras had been turned off for regular testing that starts at 11:05. The worst part is that the same cameras captured every night without fail for 6 years. Elvis put on a Navy running suit, clipped a pair of trainers and flashlight on his belt despite the fact that the lights upstairs were on, and Ginger's forehead, and declared, "I have one final something to look after." The corridor. Ginger listened for the 11:40 clock, the TV clicking, or the bathroom tap running on nothing. She tapped after 15 minutes. No response for 20 more on the bathroom door. After a few minutes, she looked in the TV room, including the stair landing in the office. There were no leather bags or envelopes left. Aztec Sun and American Eagle jumpsuits were absent from the inventory of the closet. His watch, an Omega with diamonds, had disappeared from the dresser, and the house sensed she felt hollow, like Dorothy strolling through Oz following the wizard's slip. Behind the scenes, every prop remained shimmered, but the lever-pulling man had moved aside, but the tension just increased. An emergency torch was situated on the floor, remains as though it was dropped in Ginger's rush. On August 16th at 6:20 a.m., the corridor upstairs was abruptly awakened, stayed dark, and the door to Elvis' bedroom. There appeared to be ajar inside the bed. Undamaged, no open book, no discarded robe. She knocked on the nightstand, pushing the bathroom door open. "I discovered he was not responding." Face down. Next to the toilet, Al Strada called for assistance. At 6:23, the gatehouse was radioed. At 2:33 p.m., paramedics arrived, but internal logs reveal a previous private 7:15 a.m. doctor's appointment that never reached the public record. Medical personnel workers moved after a cardiac arrest was declared, sealing the upper floor as soon as possible. In 40 minutes, Ginger took notice of what was missing: the envelopes and the leather bag. Security said the shaving kit was gone. The broken cameras didn't have any film to examine. Vernon Presley's encounter with her. 9 o'clock a.m. at the foot of the steps. He gave her a hug but said nothing. The Graceland staff has taken care of everything. Elvis's remaining prescription was boxed by 10:30. The prescriptions were never seen by Ginger. Once more, outside television crews reported Ginger's heart failure is complete. Was advised to keep her by a family lawyer. Brief but nice recollections for the media. She attempted to bring up the brown bag. The attorney shook his head. Reporters gathered the draft of the driveway management just prior to noon. Ginger thought Greek mythological Cassandra, who can see problem but compelled to remain silent, but she inquired 2 days later, but that wasn't all. Regarding the lightning bolt envelope, state solicitors asserted that there was no such item existence and took her away from the property while employees modified the funeral is underway and the upstairs door locks. There were 18,000 mourners on August 18th, but Ginger saw that the circles were more tightly. Colonel Parker No and Vernon Priscilla. She was requested to stand close to the coffin during a private visit when an interview was requested by Commercial Appeal. In response, a Presley representative said, "Ginger has nothing else to say. The tabloids presented her as a swindler. She got hate letters. Every headline was repeated within a week." Sadly, the official line for heart attack medications declined. No one brought up the powering down cameras, the sealed bag, or the missing one observation from 1978 to 1985. Ginger Alden obtained 3 official letters regarding Graceland stationery heavyweight. Each Vernon Presley's mail contained his signature along with the words "strictly private." The initial letter, dated on November 4, 1978, she was thanked for collaboration throughout a challenging change and informed her that any private diaries, photos, or the recordings recorded within Graceland were protected by the Non-Disclosure Act of 1976. The night after, she signed an agreement. Elvis suggested mailing the second letter. It was reiterated on March 12, 1981, that quoting printing Elvis Presley's private discussions, film or audio would result in financial fines of at least $50,000 per violation. The third was dispatched on April 25, 1985, added a new phrase that protects everyone. Commercial dress, derivatives, and trademarks activities pertaining to the Presley estate. Ginger kept the letters apart. Plastic sleeves within a cedar-locked chest. The gold chai was also kept in that chest. Elvis wore a lucky necklace. His brown leather travel Polaroids bag photographed in July 1977, and spiral number 27 notebooks from which she keeps nightly journal entries. From the day she first saw him till the week of she married a former Marine after his funeral, Terry, the captain, in May 1991, and purchased a home 10 miles to the east of Memphis. Enough to keep the noise from tour buses at bay, although sufficiently near to go see her mother. She wrote a private letter on August 16 to Elvis's list of family achievements. The first steps of her son Hunter's wedding at sunset. Hunter took his first guitar lesson. She took the sheet outside and illuminated it with a flame and observed the ashes drifting across. She never missed a year in her garden. In April, tabloid interest remained unabated. A nationwide weekly offered $200,000 in 1994 for her first serial rights and diaries. Elvis files the agent with Ginger's secret, provided a cashier's check as evidence of funds. Ginger returned the check uncashed by mail. She informed pals that selling memories would betray confidence more than any agreement clause. But hold on, things get worse. A second offer came in a few weeks later, encased in a copy of her 1981 letter of non-disclosure as a cautionary measure that if she spoke, the estate might sue her. By 2002, Ginger was unable to shake a query regarding the phone in Los Angeles. Elvis had called the phone in his late. She called a retired FBI agent at night. Agent who previously provided advice on cases of celebrity stalkers. Together, they made a Freedom of Information Act application. Ask for search protection for witnesses. Rosters for matching from 1977 to 1980. No match for height, eye color, or alias. Aaron revealed the retired agent suggested private agents occasionally set up business mailboxes for new. Ginger ordered public documents for identification. She discovered that the mailbox company had shut down in 1981 following the destruction of the client. Reports raising her son by herself after Ginger digitalized her after a 2004 divorce. Journals she read each new page. Date stamps and backups that were kept on 3 TCB1 and TCB2 flash devices that are encrypted, and TCB3 at Hunter's assistance. She made a comparison the handwriting of Elvis in the sealed letter of lightning bolts against 25 known handwriting recognition and signatures. After the software displayed a 97% match, they created an August timeline worksheet. 15-16-1977, cross-referencing extended staff statements, phone logs, and one noticeable gap in the ambulance records appeared between 11:45 p.m. and 12:27 a.m. A guard maid or family member reported observing Elvis's security cameras upstairs that were both offline and typically working. Almost anything may happen in those 42 minutes. The brown leather might have the travel bag turned into the second problem. In an estate sale listing from July 1990 in the Memphis Penn-Yavir newspaper ran an ad. Gold initials EAPA on a vintage VIP bag. A neighbor noticed a man in the dark spectacles pay with cash and go prior to the sale legally began, but there was no receipt. Ginger submitted a standing request for records with local auction houses. Yet, the purse never reappeared. In 2015, a reputable invited to write her narrative for a biographer. Ginger, a popular publisher, wrote 14 chapters describing her romance with Elvis, the missing letter, and the sealed one bag. After 2 weeks, she was given and the king is left at rest by an unsigned postcard, or there won't be any time to relax. However, her mailbox was forced open. She held the item and nothing was taken. Hunter is now studying computers. Science advised her to ignore dangers. Choose history together. They constructed a redacted photographs were uploaded to a private website of journal entries and late-night mapping upload information to Google Earth emphasis the surveillance. Gap and South America's peculiar appearance in the desk drawer of Elvis were travel brochures. Traffic to the site remained low until January 2024, when two independent reporters reached out to Ginger with a proposal, a taped interview under stringent verifying facts and avoiding spectacular spin. She decided that Ginger would meet on February 17, 2024. The reporters at a protected Memphis law firm, she gave them a thumb drive in the workplace. With high-resolution photographs and journal scans of the sealed letter of lightning bolt, the 1977 wardrobe inventory reveals 2 missing jumpsuits and a noted statement outlining Elvis Presley's last phone calls. The original envelope is still in her fireproof safe while she was being interviewed. I've borne this longer than Elvis kept the crown jewels in his possession. Her one permitted delusion, after which she released one last shocking revelation, is state according to security logs. Someone used Elvis' August 20, 1977, private gate code for days following his alleged demise, and the visitor was listed as having access by the system. No visual access. If Ginger's account is indeed August 16, 1977, might be the end. Elvis Presley, do not let out a last breath, might have left on his own terms, leaving a mystery that surpasses his legendary status. What do you think? Please share your thoughts. Please hit like and subscribe in the comments.